Hey, all you Warhammer players, and welcome to the Yup, the definitive podcast for the Warhammer 40k enthusiasts in the inland Northwest. Your hosts are me, Jeremy, all day 40k Nakano, and Joey, Bedingfield Painting Bedingfield. How we doing, Joey?
Doing all right.
You can find me on TikTok at all day 40k and Joey on Instagram at Bedingfield Painting. So, today we're going to be talking a little bit about kind of a continuation from last week to a degree, where we were very set on goals and all that. But some thoughts have been coming up towards those goals. Some conversations have been had. So little updates and just like insecurities around that, more or less.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important because I think that a lot of the conversations that have been had are the type of conversations that we said last week needed to take place.
Yes.
So
absolutely. We're going to get into those details soon. But before that, let's go ahead and talk about what we've been doing on the hobby front. Now, I have started my Victrix Honor Guard and have been enjoying the painting to some degree because of how beautiful the models are. But more than anything, this is just bananas. This banner took...
The banner is unreal.
It is so, like, Jaden has been, like, we've been sharing pictures back and forth, and I'll tell you what, having somebody so far and above you in terms of like quality painter is an incredible thing. It really truly is, because every time he would show me what he's doing, I'm like, okay, I gotta try to thin this paint a little bit more, gotta try to up this color a little bit more to make me feel like the effort that I'm putting into it is equal. Is this an amazing paint job? No, but I am not unhappy with it.
See, I think that's one of those things, and I'm so good at talking about this to two other people. I will never take the advice for myself. But if you think about amazing as a standard for yourself and your own work instead of a baseline, I think, El Miniaturista, Angel, Geraldes, like all of that, like if it is not that level, it's not amazing. I don't think that's true. And if you think about it in terms of like your work and what you were capable of, I don't think it's not an amazing paint job, right?
I mean, for my level of painter, I feel like it's near the top of what I can do, which feels really nice.
And that's great. And that's you said it, of putting an equal amount of effort, and I think that that's huge, because you can put an equal amount of effort into your painting that Jaden does, and you guys are both going to get wildly different results. But if you're putting the effort in, you're doing the best that you can, and you don't have anything to question.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. Now, the other thing that I've been working on has been my Space Wolves, of course. And I got to paint what I consider to be a very cool model, a Wolf Priest. And I'm pretty proud of this one. He looks pretty dope.
Wolf Priest is a pretty dope model.
Really excited. I'm still figuring out fur. I'm not good at it yet. But this cloak was interesting. At first, when I was painting it, I hated this cloak like a lot.
Right.
But I fixed the light, and that changed a lot of how I feel about it. But what I really like about it was the fact that I decided to do the kind of this non-metallic metal on the ring of the cloak, or the seam, or whatever it is.
Which looks great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one, because I can kind of, like, even looking at it, like, I can see what you're talking about, of where you were experimenting with the light, and obviously we're looking at take 2, the one that you went with, and so I think I could see where things would change, because you went really aggressive with it, and that's not a bad thing, right? Like at this angle, and I think it's the next picture where you're other direction, where you're looking at him from the staff side. There we go. That lighting is pretty much as spot on as it could get. The other side of it
is a little
that side, it looks a little awkward, but that's light. And if you look at it from the angle that it is intended to be looked at, then it's great. And that's just kind of the effects that you're gonna get when you do things like that.
Yep.
So,
nature of the beast. So
yeah, but yeah,
it's been fun. I've got 5 more Terminators that I need to get at least base coated. over the course of the next week here. So we'll see. I doubt I'll get there because I'm just getting through all my Victrix right now, and I'm putting a lot of time into them because they're a lot of fun. A lot of cloaks, you know.
Yes. As they are many things, as I have already discussed, but a beautiful model is also one of the things that they are.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I do. It's 100% thoroughly ridiculous 40K modeling, which is what it is the universe we live in, and that's why we live in it. The mouth wings are insane,
They're
but
just
it's a callback to 30K Victrix, and it looks amazing.
yeah. What you can do with lighting on those is just it's really cool. So
Yeah. Yeah.
super stoked. Now, how's your hobby coming along? I know you don't have any pictures today,
I don't have
but
any
how has the
pictures.
great AdMech paint been going?
Ugh. The assembly line is moving. It is a slog. It's a lot. Some of that work has shifted a little bit in a conversation that we will have, but AdMech painting has still happened. Unfortunately, like there hasn't been a whole ton because I was sick on Thursday last week, and then Friday was my birthday and it still wasn't great. And then Saturday we had like family dinner and everything. So I kind of just lost a couple of days that I was going to be using for painting, but that's fine. So
Okay. Well, glad you had as happy a birthday as you could have had for
oh
being
yeah,
sick.
no, it was fine. It was perfectly fine. It was, some like little just 24-hour I feel like shit kind of thing, and they
Heard
go away and we move on.
that they do. And then just so the people know what we're working towards right now between the two of us are the next two events. So the next two events happen the first weekend of December and then the second weekend of December. Two GTs back to back weekends. One is 7.5 hours away and the other is down the street.
7.5 minutes for me.
So yeah, it's going to be a good time. So first and foremost, we're going to Slaanesh next week, which is December 6th, I believe, is the day of the event. And man,
wildly uncomfortable to say next week.
It's so fun. Luckily, lists aren't due until the 4th, so we got time to figure all that out. But in preparation for the upcoming couple of weeks here, the majority of us, I didn't see you on the sign up list, but the majority of us are going to the Real Deal this weekend for an RTT as well to help get the juices going.
Yep. Loosen up a little bit. That was an unfortunate, like I would love to be there. I just don't think that I can swing 3 weekends in a row.
Fair enough.
So
I asked for permission.
That's fair. That's fair.
We'll
see.
I was like, it's kind of unfair, but can I do a third weekend? Granted, I have no intention of going to events for like another 3 months after this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
anyway,
kind of just how it is.
Yeah. But before we move on to our primary topic, let's go ahead and thank our partner, Baron of Dice.
Ha! Bad roll. That's okay. Because I'm having more fun than you ever do. Even when I roll ones. How do I get you to shut up? Go to Baron of Dice and then buy some dice so that your army is displayed. Then let me take your sister out. What?
Okay, everybody, welcome back. Let's jump into our primary topic, which came up this past week, where we're talking about what we're doing and where we're going. And it's the term that I'm sure other people have thought of, but it kind of just came natural to me, which was faction ADHD. Now, Joey, you do have a proclivity towards last minute changes and picking up armies on kind of like the turn of a hat. Like you see a good opportunity, you jump on it. Nothing wrong with that. So last week we decided on our goals, which we're trying to accomplish. You said AdMech.
I did.
Where are we today?
Where we are today is returning to Drukhari after a fair amount. I mean, I would say after a significant amount of discussion and a fair amount of convincing. We have we have returned to the Drukhari idea for a couple of reasons. The biggest of those being like competitive comfort, and then not like losing, like if I choose to go with Drukhari, then I'm losing stress and worry of a data slate just completely throwing me into the dirt. And then it's not, I guess at this point it's not less painting, but that's okay, just because of the list that I want to run. So, which is a
You have
choice.
a-
I could easily run a list that's fully painted right now.
But
So.
you have a ton of witches that you want to play, right?
Yeah.
And you just don't have those painted up yet?
Not yet. They're like, I was working on them today. They're like half. I have the second unit like halfway done. I changed the list from the first one that I ran. I don't think 30 is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just 20. So I only need to paint 10, and I got to paint 10. I got to finish my Hellions, and like 5 more Mandrakes, and that's it. It's not a huge deal.
So let's talk about the little things that lead to faction ADHD. And I think the first thing that I think all of us, when we start playing this game, kind of fall into, which is the double-edged sword of collecting armies. Everybody's like, oh, I need this kind. Like my mentals were like, oh, I need a chaos army. I need an imperial army. I need a Xenos
Yep.
army.
Every
And that's how I
time.
was collecting it first. And then I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So I have tried to get out of that game. I still mostly just have power armor between Marines and Grey Knights. And then I have some Chaos Knights that I've put on the table like 4 times since I have bought and painted that whole army. So I have tried to really step away from the collection of multiple armies just because of my Space Marine addiction. There's
Yeah.
already too much going on.
And it's not going to stop. They're going to continue giving you lieutenants, and you're going to deal with it. So there's no, it's a, you jumped into the deep end. So you probably shouldn't also put cement shoes on and get other armies. So,
Dude, tangent real quick. Sam, I was talking to her. I'm like, hey, if you were to play any one of these armies, because like I want to teach her at some point. She loves gaming and all that. Which one would you play? And I kind of talked through each one. I'm like, don't worry about the Space Marines. We got those. And then she said orcs. After the explanation, I'm like, no, not that one.
wait, no, pick again. Do a different one.
And then the other one was Tyranids. I was like, oh, come on. How about a faction with like 12 data sheets?
Yeah. I mean, if you play Monster Bash, you can get that.
That's true. Anyway, sorry.
And it's the perfect Battle Force year if you want to play Monster Bash.
It's true. So, question for you, Joey.
Anyway.
Getting back to the main topic here of the double-edged
Yes.
sword of collecting armies and army ADHD, what do you think spurs that on?
It happens a lot. I think what spurs it on for a lot of people is just that, like, it's the foundation of ADHD, right? It's the, ooh, that's pretty, or ooh, that's a good deal. And you just kind of jump on it and you don't really think it through. I've done that a lot until you get to the, you get to the point and you go, oh my God, I've got like 9 half armies. What the fuck am I doing? And you gotta kind of figure that out. But I think it's the new shiny, or not necessarily, it doesn't even have to be new, just the like, ooh, that looks cool. A lot of it, I think I tend to do it. I just do it at an army level, which is the problem.
Uh-huh.
I'll see something that I want to paint. I'm like, ooh, I want to paint that. And instead of just getting that model and painting that model, the right thing to do, I get the army and I paint a model, and then I'm done, because that was the only thing I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I don't need the army. I shouldn't have gotten the army, but we did it. So it's a weird one. For me, I think a lot of it at this point is habit. When I was taught this game, I was at, a newly married E3 in the Air Force, living on base, making no money. And all of my hobby money came from how I could kind of turn things around for what I already had. Because, like, it's an expensive game and budgeting is hard. And so it was a lot of like painting for the guy that my best friend that taught me how to play. I did multiple commissions for him, and luckily for me and thankful to him for kind of being able to break that barrier so that I could do that. But a lot of it was like, I'm going to paint this thing so that I can buy the thing that I want. I'm going to trade this person online so that I can, trade into something else and like end up eventually with the thing that I want. And so I think because good and bad, but because I grew up in Warhammer having to do that, it kind of is just habit that I just do it. So it's a weird, hard one to break.
Fair enough. I understand totally. I was lucky to get into Warhammer as an adult with money, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just sign up and do all the things and buy all the stuff. And now, I mean, it hasn't stopped, so that's life.
Yeah, and it's a weird one too. Not weird. It's just the reality of the world. But this came from a time where uh, it was arguably affordable. That I had like a legitimate argument that I had, because you looked at a box of 10 Space Marines was $33. So I could look at it and justify it and go, well, if it's $33 for the models, it's going to take me 2 hours to build them. Whatever. We say it takes 10 hours to paint them. And then we haven't even played. We're just looking at building and painting. We're at 12 and or more hours. I don't know any other hobby that I had access to at that time that I could get that amount of work from that amount of money.
Makes
And
sense.
so it was justifiable. It's harder now. It's harder to justify that now. It was useful at the time.
That Terminator box was $250.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to say, but what does it have? Does it have 10?
It's got 15 Terminators in it, plus 2
Sick.
characters or something, 2 or 3 characters. Which is
Yeah.
technically, according to like GW dollars, over $300 worth of stuff.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, because what are Terminators? 65,
80.
70? 80?
Yeah, like 84, I think.
Goodness, excuse me. Yeah, so that checks out.
So it made sense.
That might even be more than what they aim for.
Oh, yeah.
So
one of the things that I know kind of gets me into like, maybe I should try this list instead, is just the sheer volume of content out there. There's so many people talking about Warhammer today. I mean, it includes us, right? About about all these cool and interesting builds out there. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that leads to faction ADHD.
Yeah.
And that's just like, I can't tell you how many times I've had a build in my head that I've been cooking, and then I see something like Innes Wilson puts out. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that's so good, I want to try it.
Mhm.
Or because like of all the people that have put out lists, I've had the most success just looking at what Innes does and like making
What?
one or two
No.
tweaks that fit me.
Weird.
And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I definitely I agree. I'm a huge content consumer. I watch, or not as much as I used to, but especially when I was starting, I watched every battle report that was produced by anybody that was producing them, because I could only play maybe once a week with the one guy. And so it was just, I want more of this. And that is good because it helped me learn. But there is that, again, the double edge to it where it's like, yeah, I want to watch it. And even now, if I sit down, I'm like, okay, I want to watch some 40K content. If I'm playing AdMech, I want to watch AdMech be played. But at a certain point, you run out of AdMech content and you just start watching other 40K content. And then you go, oh, dang, that thing is
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Look how fun that list is. Oh, I haven't checked Scari's channel this week. Oh, this is amazing. And me, I've got the Art of War subscription. So I turn on the War Room and I'm just like, oh no. What Terminator build is John playing today? Luckily, tangentially, John's builds are so John that like I can't replicate what John does. So I've tried. I used to play the Vanguard Ultramarines, and like it was some of the hardest Warhammer I've ever played, but I did learn a lot. But you look at most of his list, they're like one of everything with very niche responsibilities for all of them, and you're just like, oh god, give me a sledgehammer.
Yeah, you're like, this doesn't make sense.
Yes. Now, speaking of lists, the next thing that I think, another thing that leads to faction ADHD is theory crafting.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is it fun to build a list?
How many do you have right now?
Oh, dude. Hold on. Let me just scroll. All right. Starting from the top, like 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like a 10 thumbs of scrolling fairly quickly. until I hit the bottom of the list of just like random things I've like, this sounds fun. This sounds fun. I even go through and delete them half the time just to like be like, nah, that one is dumb. Half the time I just think of a clever name and I'm
Yep.
like, let's
Yep.
do that.
I do love a good name.
Me too. And I'm like, oh,
List name
how can I
is
make
half the battle.
Bolter Thrill a very cool thing?
It has to match. Like, I can't just
Yeah.
say it. I need to make a
No.
list where that makes sense. Yeah.
Exactly. So
That happens a lot.
what like gets
I'm
your
pretty good. I think I'm pretty good about not doing that. Like, I theorycraft constantly, but I only keep 6 or 7 lists on my app at a time, and I'll delete them. And a lot of that is just for me, where it's just that thing of like, if I'm opening the app and I'm looking at something in the middle of a game, I want to know exactly where it is and where I'm looking for it, and I don't want to scroll. So a lot of it is like, most of the time, if I'm scrolling, it's just this to see like the 2 lists on the bottom,
makes sense.
because I just don't want to have to deal with it, and I'll delete them. So
Okay. That's smart. Makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know. I just like having all the lists. I'll go through
No,
and
I
probably
get that,
delete
because
half of them.
then the problem that occurs specifically for the way that I operate is I have to do things like what I did last week and message you and say, hey, what was that list again? Because I don't have
That's
it.
true.
So
I also have like 10 lists that are just, or not 10 lists, like currently like 6 or 7 lists that are just inventory lists of like Space Marine inventory, like Space Marine all, and then Black Templar all, Dark Angel all, Blood Angel
just
all.
make a spreadsheet.
But I can look at the app too.
But just make a spreadsheet.
I could do that. You're right. I absolutely could do that. But it's also really fun to just look at it that way too.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I guess it's available. That would be helpful for like the way that I operate, not for you because you don't get rid of stuff. But it would be helpful for like how I operate of like, if I go, hey, are you interested in whatever? Are you interested in demons? And they go, oh, what do you have? And I go, fuck, hold on. I gotta go find it and look through everything.
I
So,
just
yeah.
love looking at my like counting the tally of Space Marine points that I have at this stage. It's just like this
Mhm.
is stupid.
Yeah.
But hey, that's Warhammer. It's stupid. Speaking of how stupid Warhammer is, man, new stuff is so fun to just get, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, I got these 6 Victrix Honor Guard. I got this new Calgar. I got this new Cato Sicarius. And all I want to do is put them on the table. But I also got all these new Space Wolves that I just want to mess around with and have a good time
Well,
with.
at least the new Calgar is not good, so you can take him off the list.
You're right. Only in desperate situations do you put in Calgar in Antonius's armor or whatever.
I was gonna say don't say Terminator armor because it says something ridiculous.
It's like Antonitus's armor. That's the
I don't know.
enhancement for the Grav Captain in the new Blade of Ultramar. But that said, like we were talking about it with Drukhari, right? Drukhari just got a book. They got some badass new characters. You have some cool, like, just like you have so much cool new stuff, new shiny stuff that I am just surprised that you even considered going to another faction.
No, that's fair. I do need to paint Malice. That's the other thing on my list.
You better get on that now.
Because my Malice is built.
Well, I know that's the hard part for you, so.
It is. It is the hard part for me. She is a weird build. For anybody out there listening, if you want to buy a Malice and you have not built it yet, or you have bought one and have not built it yet, and you think, I've been doing this for a dozen years, I don't need to look at instructions for one character. Yeah, you fucking do. It's wild.
I can't, when I was building the Wolf Priest, like figuring out exactly the order in which to put all the pieces together was like fun. The booklet was 4 feet away, but too far.
It's where her neck connects to her gorget and then her face goes on and where her hair is. So if you don't do it in the right order, her head won't go flush.
God.
So like you have to do it in the right order or it'll be fucked and she'll have a weird floating head and we don't want that. So
definitely don't want that. Yeah. New stuff is one of the biggest things that pushes me towards wanting to try different stuff. Speaking of new stuff, I have a Vulcan at at the Real Deal that I have yet to pick up that arrived like 3 weeks ago. I didn't
That
expect it
model's
to
so
get there
cool.
forever.
That
But
model is so cool.
I'm very excited about building and painting Vulcan. It's so dope. He's
It's
such a
Space Marine characters that get me
oh yeah,
every
he's so
time.
great.
And I just need to get over myself and be able to buy a model and paint it and be happy instead of, but I get this like in my head, which is another ADHD problem, that I'll go, I want to paint that, and then I'll buy it and I'll paint. Maybe I will actually paint it. And then it sits there and I go, well, now I have a model that I don't have a use for. I don't like that. So
You
obviously
know what's
I need to get
something
a whole
I've
new art.
considered doing a bunch of times is that when I get like a cool paint idea in my head, I'm like, I want to paint something. Would be just to buy the what you call the 500 points or whatever,
Yeah,
the
combat. Patrol.
combat patrol, and just to paint the combat patrol and then sell it. Like you could at least get your money back and then just do it
We
again.
know somebody that does that.
Right? Like, oh, let me get my jollies out. Let me buy, build, and paint to a fairly good level, and then sell it with like the recipe for how you did it. And you could probably double your money most of the time.
Realistically, you could, but even if you don't care about that, you could get your money back
Yeah, easily.
and you just have you did your thing, you move on.
Yeah. But I have so much unbuilt crap now that I don't think I'll ever be able to realistically do that.
That's
So.
fair. Yeah.
I think maybe over the beginning of next year. So after these 2 tournaments, like I'm not doing tournaments until I think March.
Okay. What's in March?
Squig City? That might be April.
Okay.
I know there's one in March, at least a GT.
Okay.
And then I plan to do like 1 to 2 a month until the end of the year, of course. But the that window might give me a few months just to build and paint the majority of my Space Marines, because we'll have just moved into our new house.
Okay.
And like the vast majority of my stuff is built, painted, and to a fairly high level. But I do have like just a couple boxes of just stuff that needs attention. So
Yeah. I mean, you've got a number of Infernus Marines that need to get painted.
I have 20 Infernus Marines on sprue.
Those could be on table.
I got 2 Leviathan boxes, by the way.
I mean, that's a lot of people got 2. Yeah. That checks out. It was a good box.
Yeah. Now, let's get back on track here. Speaking of
Yeah.
ADHD.
Hey, listen, it's Army and real life for some of us.
There are only so many events to attend. Like, no matter how many RTT, like, we are blessed with RTTs in this region. Let's just say that. But for a lot of people, like my buddy Tim, he gets an RTT like maybe once a month, maybe. That poor guy. So for a lot of people, that's the case. A lot of people doesn't have just a bunch of game stores in the area and enough community to actually be involved. Like, we have to ask stores to open up slots at this point when we start signing up, which is fun.
Which is unreal, but
yeah,
that's
it's
great.
So cool. Like RTT, then there's always a GT somewhere in the US, and there's probably quite a few of them, but you can only go to so many. You can only play so many games in a week because they're 3-hour games typically. And for a lot of you, they're 5-hour games, and that's a normal thing for a lot of folks. So because there's only so many events, you want to try all the things.
Yes. And I will say too that in a practice or learning environment, there's nothing wrong with it being a 5-hour game. But that is a reality and something that you have to be aware of.
Yeah, nothing wrong with 5-hour games, guys, but like, know how to play a 3-hour game if you're going to go to a tournament, please.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, there's an amount, and it's hard, right? Because there's an amount of testing and practice games that a lot of us need to do to figure out the list that we want to play. And then after that, you should probably play a game or two, if not actively on a like back and forth time clock, at a minimum with time in mind.
Yes.
So,
like,
because
you show up, we're starting this game at 6:30. We need to be done by 9:30. Period. End of story.
Right. And I will say that's another factor for AdMech. Like, I guarantee you right now that if I go to Slaanesh with AdMech, all 3 of my games on day 1 are going to time.
And for anybody who competes, you know this. If your army takes you to time every game, play a different army so that you can have a break.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. That, and yeah, I mean, that's where we are, right? I don't know if you saw it, but I played a game against Dale the other day, last week, who has landed on World Eaters and is doing great. Having a tear. He's on a tear right now.
Hell yeah.
But so I had a game with him playing the list that I had mostly landed on, and it ended 7, wildly close, but like that was exhausting. The one game. We finished that game and I went, I'm so tired. Like, and that was 1. You got to do 2 more. So it's a lot. Like, you got to think about if you're looking at competing, you have to think about what you can actually do and what you can replicate.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things we can go on there, but like physically as well, like keep a lot of that stuff in mind. Because there's nothing worse than going up to a table, the guy with 500 models and he has a bad back. You're like, what are you doing? Play Custodes, bro.
Dude, it's always the guys with the bad back that need to sit down that have 10,000 models. And no shade on sitting down. Especially if you're at a GT, fucking sit down, get over yourself. But you know, there's a difference, right? The guy that, he's got a bad back, he's got bad knees, but he's got, 47,000 units. Yeah. Like, bro, pick a different one.
Also, more faction ADHD, competing is important to many of us. No one likes to lose.
Nope.
I know that there are a lot of people at events, they show up and they're like, I'm not expecting to win any games. I just love this list. Cool. I'm happy for you. But for the majority of people who go to a tournament, they want to win. And there is the chase of the meta that inspires everyone to some degree. It's a normal thing that many will chase after.
Mm-hmm.
Any experience with that?
No, and you can soften your look a little bit, buddy. Yes, it happens, right? And I think that a lot of us are, I don't know, either at risk of doing it or have done it, where even if you don't want to, or you don't think that you are, there is a lot of like, hey, this thing is really good, right? Mm-hmm. And yes, me and AdMech right now are a perfect example of AdMech are in a really good spot. And the dangerous place is trying to justify that to yourself, which I did on this podcast of, well, it is an army I've always wanted to learn. And it is an army I've always wanted to get good at. And now they're good. So now's the time to do it. Well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. It's going to take time. Like, and I've said it in multiple group chats that you were in at this point, that this like, as much as I dislike having to say it, because I like to think that I am a pretty competent player, that learning curve is big.
Yeah. That's a big brain army.
Big brain, big learning curve army. Not that not that Drukhari, my day-to-day army, is not complicated, but it's a thing I've got 3 years plus of experience with. So that's different.
If you drive a stick every day, it may be complex for some, but it's something that you're used to. It's fine.
And so that confidence drop-off of like, I'm not used to somebody going, okay, well, what's that profile, and me not knowing. Or the bigger thing, which is the huge competing problem, I'm not used to looking at one of my units and going, I don't know if it kills this.
Yeah.
And that sucks. Because especially if you want to win, you have to know that. And that's big. Like the RTT, 3 weeks ago, I think is a perfect example. Like, yeah, I played AdMech and I went undefeated, but I got second because I didn't score above 80.
Because you couldn't maximize your points. Yeah.
Yep. I don't think I scored above 80 once. I might have on the last round. But like, these are, like, looking back at it, these are games that I'm easily in the 90s and or a perfect game if it was Drukhari.
And I think this brings us to the last point of what drives the faction ADHD, which is confidence, man. Like, if you're not confident with the models that you're putting on the table, you will switch faster than anyone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that is a message to remember moving into the next edition.
Yes.
Because I went through that real bad at the beginning of 10th edition. My teammates will attest because between us, we have all like, and us being like 14 people at this point, we have access to all the armies. So it's not as ridiculous as it actually sounds when you think about it. But it was constant. Literally every game that I played was a different army because I just didn't know where I existed in the game anymore. And that's tough. That's a hard place to be in. And even if you're trying to figure it out, it shouldn't be every single game.
100%.
I was definitely swapping too much, but it's important
I gotta
to
say,
remember.
opting into Space Marines financially is a terrible choice. But beyond that, the clarity that it's brought to me in 10th edition from like, as long as you learn how to play this army, you will have all the options and you don't have to switch. And it's easy to switch between detachments. And honestly, Space Marine factions, it's easy to switch because most of their profiles are going to be similar or the same. And it's just nuance from there.
That exists in many armies.
Yes.
So if you don't want to do Space Marines, you don't have to. It exists all over the place. Chaos Space Marines can do it. If you don't want to paint Chaos Trim, Chaos Demons can do it. Like there's a ton, right? Like they can do it. Space Marines can do it. Orcs can do it. Orcs can play 4 or 5 different ways if they want to. Tyrannids do it constantly.
They even started doing it with Eldari.
Yep.
Where
Eldar does it.
You have the Seers Council. You are obviously Harlequins is a different way to play. Then you also have the different hosts. There's a multitude of ways to enjoy any one army. So like, it doesn't have to be at the beginning of the edition or anything. Just like pick a faction and just enjoy it.
Yeah. And there are some, right? There are some that will be monotone, but if that monotone is what works for you, then that's fine. But it does, some people, it takes more than one dart throw before you find that thing. So, and some people get lucky, but and I think some of it too is it's less luck and more decision making and self control of just like, this is the thing I have chosen.
Yeah.
Done.
Cool trick for that, guys. Borrow a friend's army. Most seasoned players have multiple armies. Ask around for one. Do you mind if I play it at an RTT or something? And just to see how it feels. That way you don't drop a grand on an army and then decide like, I don't want to play this anymore.
Right. And I will say, just to be clear, that is what I was doing at the beginning of 10th edition. I was using everybody else's armies, but still.
That's good. All right. Let's talk about the things that I'm dealing with currently, which is good list gets boring. I have a very reliable tournament list. I love my list. It is the Lion, Lieutenant. You got a Chaplain, Terminator Chaplain. You've got an Azrael. And then 15 Deathwing Knights. You got Intercessors, 2 sets of Scouts. I've gone over the list 100 times so far.
But how can it be boring if you're winning at competitions?
As we went through these things,
yep,
there's just so many cool things out there. It almost feels like a vacation to go off, like to go to an RTT or something, or just to go get a practice game in with something that I'm not going to be playing at a big tournament, but something that I deeply appreciate and think is very fun to play. Like I said, I'm painting 6 Vitric Guard right now because I got to put them on the table. They're new. They're a little strong. Yeah.
He said it.
But this list, my list, my Dark Angels list, I win with it fairly frequently. Like I'm still like, I don't know, like 25 and 5 on it, I think, at this stage.
Yeah. Like 80%. So that seems good.
I'm winning over 80% of my games with this Dark Angels list in tournaments, mind you, which is awesome. And I'm very well practiced with it. I don't need a bunch of more games. I have over 60 hours of games on this list. Now that is very little compared to many of the pros out there, of course. But I'm not. It's fine. Like I can put it on the table and I look at. I've been on all the terrains except for obviously WTC and like UKTC. But as far as GW is concerned, been on all their terrain and I've played every mission with them, at least tournament mission. And it's not something that's common in the meta. So it's not going to get like hit with the nerf bat, which is wonderful because it gives me this like sense of consistency. But it feels nice to step away sometimes and play a game with something that you're a little unfamiliar with or do things you're not used to doing in general. So yeah, a good list sometimes get boring. Do you have any like memories of that?
Yes and no. For almost the entirety of 9th edition, I played Monster Mash Demons, where the list for, again, almost the entirety of 9th edition, the list changed maybe 200.
Oh boy.
But I loved it. So it's a weird one. And it was but doing that and falling into that and not doing and like not trying anything else is a huge was a huge contributing factor to the like crisis that I had at the beginning of 10th edition, because that playstyle of I've got 5 big dudes and I'm going to kill you by turn 3 and then turn 4, turn 5, the score won't matter because you're dead. Like that philosophy didn't work anymore. It works sometimes now.
It's a little more consistent today.
It's a little more consistent today, but drop of 10th edition, that playstyle was not valid.
No,
and so good. I lost what was at the time like my competitive identity, and just I had no clue what to do anymore. So, but that could have been significantly lessened if I had tried other things. So I think that's pretty big. I fell into that a little bit, I think, with Drukhari before the Codex, where my list, and that was even less because Drukhari are cheap, where it was like my lists are maybe 150 points different. I'm like, man, I know exactly what this unit does in every mission. I know exactly what they're supposed to do. And when that doesn't exist, they do nothing. Right. And I know that.
Yeah.
And it's just going through the motions.
Absolutely.
And it does get boring.
It's stale, you know?
Yes.
So what I feel like I have to do is just find times where I got to try other stuff. Like coming up to this RTT, could I bring my Dark Angels list? Yeah, but I'm probably taking that list to the next 2 GTs. So maybe I'll play something different this weekend. After all, I'm painting my Victrix Guard right now.
I'm gonna throw it out there because this to me is something I just thought of, and it's an absolutely insane way to think about it. You have 10 games planned in the next 9 days with the Dark Angels.
So I think I'm probably not going to play Dark Angels this weekend.
Yeah. Because the time for you to get bored and complacent is not at an event. You never want that to be where that happens.
Right.
So.
And one of the things that I think, and we talked kind of about this before when you were going through your little bit of panic about what faction to go with, is I'm one of the few players in this area who very consistently plays Space Marines to a fairly high degree. Like I'm not, a pro by any means, but I'm a pretty good player. And it gives the people that we play with, teammates and friends, the opportunity to see a multitude of Space Marines played at a fairly good level. So that's one other big positive I think that comes from going to G or RTTs with your less practiced list, so that you get to come in and number one, you get to appreciate the list you're good at a little bit more because you win more often on that list. But then you also get to step away for a second and be like, yeah, this is my big firepower list, or this is my big stupid list that does this stuff, or Blade of Ultramar, or whatever. Like, get to try the new things, right?
Yeah. I think that point is like magnified in people like you who teach and enjoy it, and even me who has taught and very much enjoyed it, where being able to be that legitimately helpful piece to other people is really important and really fulfilling. And that's not the
Yeah.
case for everybody.
No. And that's okay if
But
it's
I
not.
do think it's the case for a lot of people, even if you aren't teaching and you don't like actually teaching and instructing and showing people how to do something. But as a general rule, being helpful and being a positive impact on another human being, even in a silly game with toy soldiers, makes most people happy. So that's a
Yes.
big part of it. That's a big part of it. So
Absolutely.
which was that's my we'll say it, this is the call out to Wyatt for this episode. He said that of like something happened. He played a Drukhari person in Tacoma, and if it weren't for me playing them and knowing and talking to him before his game started, things would have went differently. And that's great.
Yes.
So
Know your stuff to help others around you. One of the nice things about playing a very consistent tournament list is generally that list is fairly well painted. And you could either, and you could take this in one or two directions. You could either say, I am going to make this list incredible and just keep painting these models and just make them better and better and better.
Yep.
Or you're like me and have, a million points of Space Marines that still need to get painted, and you're not in a hurry to get those lists up to speed. You're just painting consistently for the sake of painting because you have a fairly well painted tournament list already.
Yeah. And that it does go both ways, which has helped. It helped me significantly. Where I came from in Texas doesn't use the 10-point battle ready in RTTs. In GTs,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
But in RTTs, everybody's battle ready. It doesn't fucking matter. And so I had, like, when I moved here, my Scourges were not painted because I just hadn't gotten to it and it didn't matter. And then I came here and was like, oh shit, everybody uses this. I have to paint them. So they got 3 colors and they stayed that way for a while. And then, oh, well, now I'm going to LVO. So I should probably up this a little bit. And so over time, they've gotten more and more and more and more. And that's just kind of where we are. And
Yeah.
that's good.
It is.
Because now I can go, this is the army I'm comfortable with. And like, I've got 2 GTs. Maybe I don't make 6 majors this year. So the GTs matter.
Yeah.
And instead of going, I'm going to play these 2 GTs and they will be important competitively, but they're not going to be helpful for hobby at all. Because I'm just going to be the minimum. And it takes that away and goes, okay, I only need to paint 3 units. We're good.
Yes, 100%. Like having an army that is mostly painted and you just have to do little things is the worst to be that person who's painting before the event starts. Because like every time I see that, I'm just like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah. And I've had to help people do that. Like we had he was a friend, not a teammate, but he, came with us to a GT and he just hadn't read it all the way and didn't realize that basing was a requirement for battle ready.
Oops.
And so we spent the night before, we spent Friday night before the GT started with 5 people basing his army so that he would be ready. And that
Fluid sand, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, we literally went to the hobby shop and we bought a bunch of self-adhesive grass. And we're like, look, man, it's going to work.
It's going to work just fine. Don't worry about it.
So it's, yeah, you don't want to be in that position.
Nope. Another thing that kind of leads to, when you are bored, or it kind of leads to being bored, and something you have to remind yourself of to stay consistent with a good tournament list is that innovation isn't always necessary. I mean, it's good to like think but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Now, there's always ways to get ready for an event. Like, if I know the layouts and missions, maybe I take some extra, like an extra scoring piece, that 150, 200 points, that's always in flux, right?
Right. And that's fine.
Changing for the sake of changing is not what you should focus on. Change for a reason. Yes. Did it get too expensive? Did the meta shift? Okay, make changes.
Yep. And maybe in some cases, if you're AdMech and you're like 90% of your codex is undercosted, or you're playing Ultramarines and you want to play Victrix, so you've got an extra 300 points, then maybe that's the time that you go, that's the cool unit I like that I normally don't take. I want to use it because I can afford it. I already have all of the things that I need. I already have my damage and I have my whatever, I've got my hammer, I have my anvil, I've got my scoring pieces, and I just have extra points. It's rare that that happens, but it does. That's the time that you can try and go, maybe it's not that bad. And you'll find out, but it's fine.
Yeah, and if you're going to do that, make sure you don't do it at a GT. I learned that this year.
Sure, you did. You did learn that this year, but sometimes it works. Sometimes we go to LVO and we say, I think 6 grotesques is good, but I'm not sure. And it turns out it's really good.
Yeah, as it turns out.
So
the next point I want to talk about is, even if it feels boring, is to remind yourself of your goals. If you're trying, like, if I had put real effort into trusting the fact that my list was good, and I had gone to LVO with my Dark Angels list, I probably would have placed a lot better.
or Tacoma.
So,
Yeah.
Tacoma specifically.
Yeah.
Gets me every time.
And that's big, right? And that was like, I think out of all the discussion that we have had in the past couple of days regarding me and what I was going to play, I think that was like the last straw for me, which was, yes, they are good. And yes, I just got a new book. And yes, that's an exciting time, especially for like, I love witches and I think they're sick. And I like that style of Drukhari, but it has not been good in a very long time. Now it is. So that's one thing. But being able to sit down and really look at it and go, I didn't actually reach my goals last year.
Right.
So do I abandon them completely or do we have take 2?
I think you just take 2, man.
And I think at this point it's take 2 because it sounds weird because of how much I flip-flop, but I don't like quitting.
Yeah. So don't quit. And remind yourself, winning is fun.
It's fun. Someone's got to do
Winning
it.
is very fun. And the more that you
Half-
change things, the less
You know-
likely you are to win.
It's true. If you guys think about it, I don't know if anybody has, but if you think about it, half of all people that play 40,
True. And
someone's
you
gotta
want to
do
be
it.
on the positive side of that equation.
You do. You want to be on the positive
You
side.
really do.
It's not fun. Even if you like playing for fun, even in a casual, even in a narrative environment, if you play 9 games and you lose 9 games,
It wears
an
on,
amount of fun will be lost.
like a considerable amount,
So
depending on
even
the
if you say you
personality.
don't care, even if you say you don't care,
You care.
and there
a
are
little bit.
people, you care a little bit, it still feels good when you win, and that means you care.
That's right. That's right. So, moving forward for the year, I'm still going to stay on this Dark Angels train until the wheels fall off. And once it changes, I'm probably just going to have to run Gladius or whatever. But I doubt we're going to get nerfed too hard at any given point.
No,
So
I don't think so. But even then, even if it was popular, I don't think it needs it.
it doesn't.
I don't think anything in that list is broken. I think the Lion is terrifying,
Yes.
but I think that all Primarchs should be.
Yeah.
And they're not,
They're not.
but they should be.
Yes.
Literally what the story is based on. So
Poor eel man. Poor snake man. It's fine. So we're audibling to Drukhari, yes?
yeah.
And where are our goals for the year with Drukhari then?
So I made top 5 in the region. So we're shooting for 3.
Nice.
I would honestly, I'm going to shoot for 1 and I will be happy with top 3.
Excellent. These are fun goals. Go.
I think I was 15 in the nation. So I would like top 8 in the US.
Let's go.
That's kind of the big one. And then hobby, I think very similar. A lot of my stuff is painted fairly well. And the things that aren't are small touch-ups to change that. So I'd like to be somewhere similar. And some of that, I think a lot of that, it kind of just comes down to, I mean, it's pride, right? Of like, I would like to be able to go to an event where like I did it. I was the person looking at names. But when I went to LVO of going, okay, who are the Drukhari players here? And going, I know that guy. I know that guy. I don't know those guys, but I know those guys. So I'm going to watch what they're doing. If I could be that person, that's crazy. So
Cool idea. It's a cool thought. Well, I'm glad. I'm very glad that you've transitioned back to Drukhari. I can't wait to see AdMech at the RTTs.
Yeah. And it gives me more time. I said it when I started painting the army, when I painted my first like 3 models, that I was like, this is where this is the level I want to paint them at. And so now I don't have to compromise that. And, 1,800 points is battle ready. So I can just kind of push those back up to where I want them, which is a lot easier and a lot more fun, and move on and take it the way that I intended it to be and actually paint a nice looking army.
Hell yeah. Well, let's go with that. That's awesome to hear. Okay. Now, some of you listeners might be familiar with our Fuck That Faction, but today we're going to keep it a little bit more positive, a little bit more on target, and we're going to go with Fuck That Looks Good, which we're going to talk about some lists that we've been eyeing, that we have been considering in terms of competitive play to some degree, scoping them out, if you will. Now, the first list that we're going to talk about is a list that I want to run really bad. And that
it is a list that you want to run really bad. I will point out, because it's insane. This is a list that you and I built after recording an episode in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. And it started with the thought of, what if 15 Infernus Marines? Now,
what if?
That said, it did go through some iterating. I got to it a little bit more, but it is a Forge Father, so it's a Salamander list. It starts with Vulcan, because of course it does. It includes a Lieutenant with a combi weapon, because of course it does.
Because of course it does.
It includes a Apothecary Biologist, because we're playing Forge Dad.
That is an addition.
It is an addition. And I included a Forged in Battle, which is the flip 6 rule, making it so that your Meltas do mini Melta. And we also included the Captain with Jump Pack. And that includes the War Tempered Artifice, making him very strong in combat. So I gave him a Thunderhammer because I think Thunderhammers are dope.
I learned last night that Captain with Jump Pack has a different rule. It is not just a captain. Turns out he's pretty cool.
He's pretty good. So on charge, he gives a unit +1 strength, which is
whole unit's kind of nuts.
Pretty good. Of course, we pay the tax to have an intercessor squad, which is awesome to have. We have 2 impulsors. We have 1 company heroes to hang out with Vulcan.
2 impulsors means we don't have 15 Infernus Marines.
That's correct. We are down to 10 Infernus Marines, 2 sets of 5. It is sad. But what we made room for is 6 Eradicators to hang out with the Apothecary Biologist. And that unit fucks. Followed by, of course,
because of the enhancement, they'll fuck 1 more time.
Yeah. And they're at strength 10. And you have access to +1 to wound.
Yeah. Because I don't care what any of your local TOs say, you get +1 to wound. And if they say you don't, they're wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong. Assholes. Even GW.
So do Raven Guard too. Raven Guard get +1 to wound. Fuck off.
They're not that strong. It's fine. 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts, because of course we are. 1
Storm
Speeder
points,
Hammer
we're gonna
Strike,
do it.
because that makes the Redemptor Dreadnought sing. And then a 10-man of Vanguard veterans with jump packs. Now, the question here is, do you give them flamers or do you give them Melta pistols? In this iteration of the list, I believe you give them flamers so that you can just melt everything with Vulcan re-rolling, giving them re-rolls to their flamers, and then doing the additional or dev wounds on 6s, because it's going to be like, I don't know, 10d6 dice. So
dev wounds on Torrent is insane.
Yep. So that list is a blast. Obviously, Forge Father is run and gun, so advance and shoot. You get +1 to strength when you are within 12 inches, making all of your weapons strength 5, 6, or higher. Taking your Meltas to 10, which is incredible. Vulcan makes that Vanguard veteran unit like stupid in terms of what the damage output that it's capable of. They have lethals on attack. They get plus strength when they charge.
Is it just 10 chainswords?
Yeah, it's 10 chainswords, and I think they get 1 special weapon.
Which is
No,
fine,
it's
because it's
just
10.
chainswords.
They're strength 5 with the captain, so who cares?
They're strength
It's
6
kinda
with
cool.
the captain.
No, on the charge, they get +1.
Yeah, they're naturally strength. No, so they don't have chainswords. They have Vanguard veteran weapons.
Oh, okay. They have whatever, strength 5 power weapons.
Yeah, so 5, 1, 1.
Okay. So yeah,
And
they
then
go
on
to strength
charge,
6,
they're
which is
strength 6.
sick.
And then you can give them +1 to wound as a strat. So you wound a bunch of stuff on 4.
Yeah, that seems okay, I guess.
Yeah. And you could do them with Melta pistols too, but because you're running around with the Melta unit, you don't need to. Not unless it's a night meta. So that is a list that you and I more or less built together. I made a change by removing one of the impulsors, removing the 5 or the 10 man of, or sorry, the 5 man of Infernus Marines, and then that allowed me to add the a couple other changes to make it to work this way. This is I
Which is
think
fine.
a more competitive iteration of the list.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But
So that was
it's
mine.
like it's just like we were talking about earlier, it's like less than 200 points that got changed from the idea of the list. So
Yeah. So yeah,
it's
that
good.
looks good to me.
It looks good. I
It
don't.
just plays
said
Warhammer
it.
really well.
That's it. I said it before the cast of like, it's on paper, nothing about it. Like, there's nothing on paper that says that it isn't good.
The biggest issue is its melee presence. That's it. There's just not much there. And that's okay.
Which is fair. So we can go over my first list that also has almost 0 melee, which, if you know me, is not good. So I don't do that. I like melee. So we have Scintillate and Titillate,
Ooh.
which is my Tzeentch Demon list, which sounds suspiciously like a Slaanesh list, but isn't. That's beside the point. So we have Kairos, because of course we do.
Yeah.
Like,
Gotta have 'em.
top 3 unit in the Codex. We've got two other chickens. That's 3 chickens. One
Okay.
of them has the 6-inch aura of a 4-up Feel No Pain to mortal wounds, which is
Pretty strong.
something I have not seen people playing that have run this detachment, and something that I have played and can tell you is insane.
Okay.
Being basically immune to grenades and tank shock is wild,
Pretty
because
awesome.
that's some armies' only answer. The other chicken, has the Infernal Puppeteer, which is the pseudo but better line of sight shooting. You pick a unit, one of your units within 18, and then you draw range and line of sight from that person and not from the Lord of Change.
Pretty good.
So you're shooting out of line of sight, but you're not, because you're using somebody else's eyes. It's sick.
They're just pinging off of flamers.
You're just pinging off of flamers. Or you can chain pink horrors. And if they kill
Brutal.
2 pink horrors, you chain your blue horrors a little bit further forward.
Oh, that's so rude. Okay. All right.
Then we have one Exalted Flamer, who just gives flamers assault, and that's good. It's, assault. So giving them assault,
Strong.
I have found to be pretty good. We've got the Changeling, because it's the funniest sentence in 40k, asking your opponent if they wish to target your Changeling, because that is the wording of his ability, and it's hilarious.
So stupid.
It's so dumb. And then a spicy new include that I think is kind of sick is a Fate Skimmer, which is the Herald on the Chariot. So he leads Screamers
Okay.
and can uppy downy his whole Screamer unit.
Oh.
That's just his ability.
It's a chariot that just leads a bunch of screamers.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Like Santa.
Well, I mean, his chariot is pulled by 2 Screamers.
And you add 6 more. That's 8.
Yeah. It's pretty sick. And so he has, I think, 6 Flamer or 6 Screamer attacks, and then other stuff. And then he has the enhancement that just gives me an extra Fate dice, because it's
Nice.
10 points and you just kind of do it. So I have a unit of pink horrors because
course
we've
you
talked
do.
about pink horrors before.
Yeah, pink.
If your opponent cannot wipe them in one activation, they're crazy. I have a unit of 6 Nurglings and a unit of Plague Bearers because Infiltrate is good. Nurglings are annoying, and Plague Bearers have Sticky, and that is something that this list not only doesn't have access to.
Okay.
So Plague Bearers, Sticky, good. We've got 3 units of Flamers. It's 3, 3, and 6.
Love that.
The 6 Flamers obviously go with the Exalted Flamer so that they have Assault, and they murder whatever they want to.
Because you can push them up to damage 2 and all that. Like,
Yeah, with the strat that they so kindly reduced to 1 CP.
so nice.
You can make them so their strength, what are they, 5? They're 4? Their strength 4. They get +1 from being close to a chicken. And then you can get plus, I think it's 2. It might be 3, but it's at least 2 from the strat. So you can have 7. Like, you can make them 7, I think AP 3.
2 damage. That's so gross.
It's pretty wild. They're pretty great. And then you've got the 2 65-point units that are still phenomenal action monkeys. And then we have Screamers, which is also 3/3/6.
Juicy.
Because Screamers, also phenomenal at actions, being a 14-inch moving flying beast, so they can breach. It's important. And then also just do way more damage than they should. Like, than they have any right to, really.
It's an anti-vehicle 2-up, right?
It's 4.
Okay.
It's 4, but it's even then, they're still strength 6 AP 2 damage. So
Pretty good.
even not into vehicles, it's anti-vehicle and monsters, so that's crazy. But even into Space Marines,
They're Deathwing Knights.
they're Deathwing Knights. I mean, we've seen it. I've had a unit of 3 Screamers pick up 5 Jump Pack Intercessors, which is kind of nuts.
Have seen it, yep.
And that's the whole list.
It's a... Haven't you played this list?
I've played very similar because I had Be'lakor and a Defiler, or not Defiler, Soul Grinder. Soul Grinders have bases now, so they suck. And then I just bit the bullet and took Be'lakor out so that I could put a 3rd chicken in. The Screamers are the only melee threat. Other than that, it's all shooting. It's great shooting,
Yeah.
but it's all shooting.
Just embrace. I think it's a good embrace. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the shooting.
It is a list that I really, really like the idea of, and 500 points different that I have played and enjoyed, but it is a list that during the entirety of a game, I have to constantly remind myself that I cannot move forward and I do not have the ability to fight you. So I have to fight myself for the whole game, and that is tiring, but it's super fun.
Can't wait to see it in RTT, bud.
Yeah, it is definitely an RTT list, very much.
Oh, yeah. And like with enough reps, it could be a very good GT list too.
%. Like, it is a list. It was a consideration of mine for these upcoming GT.
Yeah, I mean, like, had you like picked to go with demons this year, it would have made sense just because you can play demons in 100 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the different gods, and because like you have the Be'lakor detachment, which I still think is fucking phenomenal.
Exactly, I still think it's great.
And then the Tzeentch detachment, and even the Nurgle detachment is good. Like the
Nurgle detachment's crazy.
It's all dope.
Yep.
Like, it's one of the closest armies, in my opinion, to Space Marines, in that you have such a variety of playstyle.
Right. And so it is one that, and you have a variety of valid playstyles. So you can avoid that little bit of burnout and boredom because you can just play a different version that is still very good.
You can still play a bunch of bigs and just scam people on 4-ups.
Yep. That's another list that I have, is just Monster Mash, because if I roll 4-ups, I'll win.
Yeah.
It's
fun.
That's it. That's all it says.
You had one more one more list to embrace.
I do.
Kool-Aid bikes. Tell us
I did,
about it.
right. All I said was Kool-Aid bikes. Surprise, it's White Scars.
Yeah.
Saboden just Kool-Aiding
He's
entire
so
bike
cool.
squads is insane. It's so cool.
This is also my second list, by the way, is playing White Scars.
Yes. It's sick. White Scars are cool.
They're so fun. Specifically, Saboden running around with 3 dudes.
Specifically, Saboden running around with 3 dudes.
It's just cool.
Like his data sheet ability is insane. On top of driving through walls, like just moving if you killed something is wild.
It makes me really jealous that Samael doesn't have those rules. They have the same second ability, which is the advanced shoot and charge one, or the +1 to advance and charges. If you had,
If you
advanced
already
shoot and
have access
charge,
to it, yeah.
it's
Yeah. It's so weird.
But Suboden has like just the better iteration of all the rules. Run through walls, extra movement on kill. Like he just runs around and just be's an asshole, which is incredible.
Just as an asshole. And there's so many like small nuanced things to him specifically. Like he's only 115 points,
Very cheap.
which for the abilities is already insanely cheap. He has a onslaught Gatling cannon.
Just a few dev wounds from time to time.
Why? His melee is the same as, it's actually better than Screamer's
Pretty
because
good.
it's 622 anti-monster, anti-vehicle, but it also has Lance.
Yeah. And then if he's with Outriders, he gets +1 damage.
Right. He's OC2 from a Space Marine character, and he's a chapter master, right? So he's a Space Marine, he's toughness 5, he has a 4-up invul. What he has over every other Space Marine chapter master is 8 wounds.
Pretty good.
That's so good.
That bike
He's-
is a big, thick bike.
He's half of an Outrider squad.
Yeah.
Like,
He's so
It's-
good.
crazy.
And then also on top of that, on top of Spear Point, is you have access to Hunter's Eye, which makes that 6-man of Eradicators fucking ridiculous.
I don't know where to end. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how to actually. Right now, the list that I'm staring at is 1810. Because I'm not sure what to do. Like,
Well, that's a weird number for Space.
3 of the 4 enhancements are good. Fuck off. Anyway,
It's a really cool detachment.
yeah. So I have a jump chaplain or jump captain because I learned that they have a good rule. He has Spear Point Paragon,
Yeah, oh yeah.
which just makes his stuff stronger.
So strong.
And because he's Spear Point Paragon, he has a Relic Blade because it's just more attacks and it hits on 2s, and that's nutty. I have a naked chaplain on bike because he seems pretty decent
He's okay.
in a unit. He's not necessary, but he seems all right. I have Corsaro Khan because he's good.
He's not bad.
In the unit I have him in, I think he's really good.
Okay.
I have 2 units of Assault Intercessors because Advance and Charge is good. I have a unit of Intercessors because we do.
It's the necessary tax, yeah.
10 JPI and 5. Maybe I don't need them, but they're there. 2 Ballistas because shooting is helpful.
Relevant and necessary, yeah.
A unit of 6 Blade Guard, which is where Corsaro goes. And then I think it's kind of nuts. I guess I should look. Does their rule, you can select one, blah, 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 models in the unit. Yeah, so if you choose reroll ones to hit or reroll ones to save, then Corsaro gets it as well. So that's kind of neat.
It is. Blade Guard are fine.
There's 6, they are fine. There's 6
Particularly
Eradicators.
in this detachment, they are fine.
They're super, like, that's the thing, is that like with Advance and Charge, they're really cool. There's 6 Eradicators, so I guess there should
So
be a
good.
biologist with the eye, maybe.
Full reroll to hit, wound, and damage, and you have lethal sustain
Yeah.
1 ignores cover.
Yeah, it seems good. It's a weird one where like I don't think you need ignores cover because it's Melta, but getting lethal and sustained is kind of neat.
I mean, putting a Land Raider onto 6-ups feels good.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. I've got 2 units of Outriders. My brain wants 3, but there's 2. An ATV because it seems
They're
like a
just good.
decent action monkey
Yeah, they're great.
at
8
60
wounds.
points. Yeah. And then there's a scout squad.
And you have 1810.
Yeah.
I would encourage
And
you
admittedly there's already 200 points of unnecessary stuff.
Yeah. I think the only way to improve this list is to remove the chaplain and the extra bikes, and then just add a bird, a storm raven.
But I don't like storm ravens.
You put one on the table and tell me you don't love it, because I haven't been that hard in a minute putting a storm raven on the table on a stormlance, which is the same detachment, just worse technically. That thing doesn't die because
it's a flying land raider.
it's a flying land raider with -1 to hit, -1 to wound, and access to armor of contempt with
It's
-1
-1 to
damage.
wound?
Yeah, so remember that, that ride hard, ride fast stratagem?
Fuck off.
Yeah, that's why you bring the storm raven. It's incredible.
Okay.
And that
Sure.
that extra unit of bikes won't do anything, so don't do that.
Right. Well, because you're dropping the chaplain, so you don't need him. You don't need them anyway. Do we not? We don't just have a 6-man outrider?
You could get away with it with Corsaro, but it consumes so much space on the table that you actually cripple yourself a bit.
That was my only concern, was that, like, you're not hiding 6 outriders.
No. And it's really,
So.
they're hard to get around. Like,
Not when they
Even-
drive through walls, they're not.
I mean, sure. In that in
But
the
yes.
situation with Saboden, yes. Saboden
But
needs
you're
to
still not
kind of
hiding 6.
he needs to run the outside of the table and just
Yeah.
clean up everything and then just be somewhere at the end. Because if you put him in danger zone too quick, he gets shot off the table and then half of your army's like fun stuff goes away. So you do have to play him carefully, but that's why you have a Storm Raven. Storm Ravens are, in those detachments in particular, Spearpoint and Stormlance, it is a unit that needs to be legend because of what it can do.
Sure. Are the ballistas fine? Like, at 150 points, I don't see why we don't take them.
Ballistas are fine. They generally play well into just about everything. What they do is they just stand on your other spare, your
Yeah, your natural
Objective.
expansion.
you just watch. They have 8 OC on the point. They watch the big firing lanes. They've got native rerolls built into them. Like, it's a good. They're good units. I have no issue with them, especially at 150.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's the thing, is like at 150. And it was one of those things that, thinking about it too, I was like, man, with just blanket advance and charge and 160 points, Brutalis becomes that this is a cute unit that I think is cool, that in this detachment specifically might be okay.
Did we lose Spearpoint when we dropped the chaplain?
No, I have it on the Captain with Jump Pack.
Captain with Jump Pack, got it.
So
And
yeah, I
then
need to get the
what's he
Apothecary
leading?
Biologus. He's leading to 10 JPI.
10 JPI. And would you consider Vanguard vets over JPI?
Sure, yeah.
Just because you can do one of two things with them, right? You can go and have like extra damage with the pistol of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
or shields, and have an invuln.
Invulns are good. Well,
And-
and then you're looking at see, that's why I asked you in your detachment, because I was thinking about this list, which is JPIs, and their chain swords will go to strength 5. But the Vanguard vets would go to
Strength
6.
6.
So yeah. That seems good.
Pretty not bad.
Pretty not bad is really the name of the game here. Pretty not bad. Let's see, where does that put us?
Yeah, how many points do you have now?
Okay, so changing the 10 JPI to 10 Vanguard vets, I took out the 5. They seem mostly unnecessary. Took out the extra unit of Outriders, took out the Chaplain, added the Biologist with the eye, and the Storm Raven and the Vanguard vets, so we're at 1955. There's nothing in
Well,
the
that's a
Codex
very
that's
awkward
45
point.
points.
The only thing that might be there, what is the Blade Guard Ancient at?
Oh, fuck, he's 45.
There you go.
Hilarious.
And if
Can
you
he
wanted to
lead?
like shift some stuff around, you can put, something interesting on him from a enhancement standpoint. Is there actually any enhancements?
Can he lead? Can he lead like a lieutenant?
Yeah.
Okay. See, these are Space Marine things I don't know.
I'm pretty certain.
I mean, I have it up, so I can just look. Like an ancient leader. Yeah, you can attach this model to the above unit, even if a captain, chapter master, or lieutenant has already been attached. Interesting. So technically, you could lead with a lieutenant and an ancient, which is
weird. Just a couple
Weird.
of lieutenants, effectively.
just 2 lieutenants hanging out. But yeah, so you could do the ancient, and it would be Corsaro and the Ancient and 6 Blade Guard.
And you're just this high OC stupid thing that runs around and does a little too much damage than what people expect. You just stick it in the Storm Raven, and it's got this very comfortable taxi.
It does have a comfortable taxi, and I guess it's just not carrying a Dreadnought.
True. And then if anything gets close and potentially puts your Blade Guard and Con in danger, they just run back into the Raven with the reactive movement.
That should probably be changed.
It's one of my
GW should
favorite
probably
things to
look
do.
at that.
It is one of the
Not
most.
that, like, getting back into transport is fine, and this is me thinking from a realism standpoint, and that's the problem.
Don't do that. It's Warhammer.
You shouldn't be able to get back in a plane that isn't hovering. How'd
Well,
you
the
get
Storm
up there?
Ravens hover.
I know, but when you put it on the table, you're not hovering.
What do you mean?
Like you deep strike, or you don't deep strike. You strat reserve and you pull it onto the table.
The Storm Raven?
Yeah,
No, you can't. You start that on the table every time. It literally doesn't strat reserve. There's nowhere to put it.
well, okay.
The
So
wings don't let you bring it out.
you just have it hovering.
Yeah. It's just
From
a
the
big
get-go.
tank that you leave in the back
Okay.
that moves 20 inches and drops off
Okay.
nightmares to people.
See, I was thinking about it not being on the board.
Oh, no. It starts on the board.
That makes a lot more sense.
And it's just this
It's 'cause you said it
gigantic
was-
looming threat.
Is the -1 to hit from the strat too?
So the strat is -1 to hit, -1 to wound. The
Gotcha.
ability
Okay.
is -1
'Cause-
damage. Then the other strat,
because
of
when you
course,
said
is armor
-1 to
content.
hit, I was like, of course it's -1 to hit because it's flying.
Yeah,
But no, that's the strat.
it's just always it's just ride hard, ride fast, or whatever the equivalent is called in
Right.
Spear Point.
Hmm.
Fun list.
Yeah, so that's a fun list. Seems fun. Fun list seems fun.
It really does. Recently, I was watching an Art of War video where John played it into Necrons from Siegler, and he was way down, and he plays it to a tie, and you're just like, okay.
Right. Because
And I don't even think he
Land
had the
Raiders-
Raven.
like Land Raiders are good
Land
in the
Raiders
way
are
that they're
great.
not. Land Raiders are not bad, but a 20-inch moving Land Raider is really good.
With all those guns, like the storm, like for those of you out there who own a Storm Raven and have not been playing one, find a reason to play it, put it on the table, because it's probably going to get legended at the end of the edition.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a world? It would have to be like, this is not okay. I would riot for a nerf. But can you imagine, just for a second, everybody, if you want to close your eyes and live in this world for a second, where the Storm Raven has assault ramp?
No, I don't want to imagine that world.
You don't want to do that?
No,
That doesn't seem fun?
they'll just be in every list.
No,
Like
I know. I said it would be
it-
way too strong.
This is too good. Let's not do
You
that.
would have, like, it has to be nerfed if that
it
were
would
the
cost
case.
380 points to play.
Yeah, it'd be another 100 points, yeah.
So
And
I
it would
don't
still
want
be in every list.
yeah, but the beauty of what it does, I will say, to kind of counterpoint it a little bit, the beauty of what it does is its survivability. And the fact that it is -1 damage natively instead of like Assault Ramp makes it just this big immovable object.
Because you don't care, right? You disembark 3, you move 6, you advance, and you charge. So you don't care.
It's so good. Storm Raven is so much fun to play. It's like, especially with Dreadnoughts too, like
Sure.
just dropping off the care package. It makes the Brutalis Dreadnought playable.
Or does advance and charge make the Brutalis playable?
No, because of its base. Because you get
Sure.
to pick it up and take it somewhere and then drop it off.
I guess. Yeah. So you just go, meh, and it's in the middle of the board on turn 2. Otherwise, it's not. Yeah. But it can't charge after. It can't charge after it moves with
No.
the thing. Yeah. So
No. But it just lets you put it into an advantageous position without having to walk into the middle of the board.
yeah. Okay. The -1 to hit, -1 to wound strat. I found the name. So while the detachment is better than the other, whatever
Stormlance.
it's spiritual Stormlance. What is it? It's Stormlance. This is
Spear Point.
Spear Point.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, while Spear Point is better than Stormlance, the name of the strat is way worse.
What is it?
Because Ride Hard, Ride Fast is dope.
It is.
And instead, we have evasive maneuvers.
Fucking lame.
That's just like the barest word definition of a thing that we could have chosen.
So sad.
It's
I
so
hate
dumb.
that. No.
Anyway,
Anyway. All right. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you joining us. If you want to help us out, like, comment, share, subscribe, all those good things. Let the people know about Yop. Otherwise, we appreciate you, and I hope we see you again soon here at the Yop.
We'll see you around.